In this video, we're going to have a look at adding products automatically to the bottom of a post. And the way that it works is if I go into my post and I type in a keyword, so for example, hood, and I update my post, then products that have that keyword are automatically then included in the listing here. So these have hoodie in the title, but let's say I did a search by something that's not. So I know that blue sky is not in the title of a product, and I'm going to update. And now when I refresh, that product where I added that in the text has come up, and you'll see that it's not even in the excerpt, it's actually in the content for that particular product, and it's picked it up. So what we're going to do now is make this query. So when you finish writing your post article, you can just enter the keyword and some teaser to the product will automatically be included at the base of your post. And to get that to work, to make the keyword, here I've used advanced custom fields to create the reference keyword and basically oxygen with no other plugin. So to get started then, let's just head over here to custom fields. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trash that particular keyword and I'm going to add a new keyword. And in this, I will put here, let's go reference keyword as the name of the field group. I'll publish that. The field group defaults to the post type equal to post, and then I'm going to add a field and I'll just call it the keyword. So we're going to look for the keyword and we'll update. So now when I refresh the post, instead of it saying reference keyword, it's now going to say the keyword. And I will just put in a field there for now. And then we can just use that for testing. Now when I go over to the shop, you'll see there we did have something. And now when I do a search, it's just bringing up product, and let's just have a look, and it's just bringing up random products and they're not based on any particular search term. And the reason why it's doing that is because we of course have this in the bottom of our post. So I'm going to save, going to refresh, and now there is nothing to see. So let's build up that query and then set it to search based on the keyword that we enter. So in the advanced custom fields, we've created the keyword. And now what we're going to do is go over to oxygen. To get that to reference in oxygen, though, I do need to refresh oxygen so that it includes that keyword in the, or that field in the options when I look at advanced custom fields as the search term. So we're just loading this up. Right, oxygen is loaded, so we can get started. So I'm going to scroll down here and open up my structure pane. I'm going to add a section. And in that section, I'm going to add a repeater. Over to helpers, repeater. And now what we're going to do is a custom query in the repeater to pull in the products. So we go to query, not custom, we go to an advanced query, edit the query, and the first thing that we're going to do then is post type, and that post type will be product. Then I only want posts per page. I'm just looking for one. Let's make it two. I don't want any pagination, so just type in no, scroll down, no found rows, and add that value and set that to true. I'd also like some random posts, so I will go order by and set that to random. And now I'm going to add the keyword. So we say add another parameter, and now we want to do a search parameter. The best way is just to enter S, scroll down until you see the S in the list. There we have it. Select the S and add value, and the search value then is going to come from the advanced custom field, and it's the keyword, and we insert that. So now we have the query set up. Now what we're going to do is just add some content there. So inside the repeater, And now I'm going to add a column. So in the basics, we're just going to have 2 columns. And in the left-hand column, what we're going to do is we're going to have a background image. So the background image there will be the featured image. And the size there, I'll just put down as large, enter. And of course, we want it to cover, we don't want any repeating. And in terms of position, we'll want to go 50-50. So we'll go 50% and 50%, and that'll keep it nicely in the center. And of course, because it's a background image, we need to just add some padding. So 100 pixels at the top and 100 at the bottom. If we want to, maybe we'll go 150. So just work out what's good for you. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to add in the title. And the title will be then the post title. We're not going to add a link because we're going to link that whole section at the same time. The font size, we're going to just drop down to 30. And the font weight we'll set to 600. Then I'm going to add in the excerpt. So we add some text. Right, and the text, then insert data, excerpt. That's great. And then over here under typography, I'm going to set the line height to 1.2 on the text, and on the title, I'm also going to set that to 1.2. Right, so there we have the text, and of course, I'd like that to be in the middle next to the item. So that's looking good. We've got the columns. And that is going to pull in the post. So we can save that. Just head over to the website now, refresh, and now you'll see that we have hoodie with pocket and hoodie. And if I go into the post, you'll see I enter the keyword hood. Now I know that if I enter blue sky, there's only one post with the words blue sky in the content, and that's the pennant. So if I update that and refresh, then we just get the one post returned. So to have that stand out a little bit more in that section, I'm going to go to the background color and just make that a gray. And what I'm also going to do to make the output look a little bit nicer is I'm just going to wrap that item with a div tag. Right, so we wrapped it with a div tag and advanced. And then what I'm going to do now is give it a border radius of 5. Let's give it a background of white. And then what I'm also going to do is give it a bit of a box shadow. So let's go back here, effects, box shadow. Let's just dial that down there to about 30. No horizontal, make that 8 pixels, make that 10 pixels. So now I've got a nice glow effect around the post. And in that div where the posts appear, we'll just center that. And in the repeater, we'll make it a horizontal viewing and also center. So we'll save that. We'll head over to the website, we'll refresh, and now you'll see that we have the pennant appearing here in the middle. And if I had more than one item, so let's say I'm going to go with hood because I know that hoodie will bring up more than one item, and I refresh, we'll have we should have 2 items appear. There they are. And if I refresh, they are set to random. You'll see now that the results change as they should. What I'm also going to do then is around that div, let's just add in some spacing. Right, so the 2 items are separated. And now when we look at it here, we should have 2 separate items. Okay, I'm not sure why we're getting 2 different sizes, but let's just head on back here. And now we have the the repeater, we have the div, and then this is the div where the content is kept. So in this div here, I'd like to just try something, make that 100%, refresh, and that just separates them out. So, right. Next thing that I'm going to do is just add a title here. So I'm just going to add a little title here. You might also be interested in, and let's just center that. Right, we're going to change the font size, obviously, and the font weight. Right, you might also be interested in. It's a little bit big, so let's just drop that down a bit more. Put that in the center. Over here in the repeater layout, we have the layout centered, and in the div under that, we also have the centered layout. And then we have the column layout. Save that, head back, and there we have the two items neatly laid out next to each other. The size of the layout may have something to do with the text that fills the area, and that's why it's adjusting them in two different sizes. So if we wanted to get them to be the same, let's see, what would we do there? Okay, well, this div, first of all, we need to change this to a link, and we haven't set a width for the item. And this div here, we're going to set that to 100%. Right, so that could just be some spacing there that we needed to sort out. And there we now have equal size items. And if we just have the one item, then it will appear in the center. And so, okay, so that's looking really good. Don't know why WordPress always puts everything where you don't want it. As you can see. Right, so now when we refresh, you'll see the two items. Great, so that's working really nicely. You might also be interested in, and that's working really nicely. The other thing now is we want to add a link to those items. So I always put the link in last because sometimes when you apply the link, it does change the formatting. So I'm hoping that that won't be the case today. And the data here will be permalink, save, refresh. And there you can see the formatting change, but not too much. And then I'm going to go in and just set the layout to the left. And there we go. So there we have our products. They're looking good. Let's have a look at that in the mobile view. That's not looking too good. So if we change that to mobile view, then what we need to do is, so in this div, we're now going to change that to 100% wide. The link wrapper is already at 100%, and then the columns are at 100%, and they should automatically collapse below a certain size. So let's just refresh that. And you'll see the two items next to each other. So let's just make sure everything is set to display correctly. That div is set to 100%. The link wrapper is set to 100%, and the columns by default are also set to 100%. Peter. That is also set to 100%. So that's at 100%. The next div is set to, there we go. It's just that funny bug in Oxygen where everything changes back to pixels. And so now we have quite a nice layout then in the mobile view. And the last thing we're going to change then in the section is to center that. Right, so there we have the mobile view looking good. And we also have the desktop view. And the nice thing now is that when I write my post, I can just enter a keyword here and it can be literally any keyword. So I'm going to go to my products and t-shirt, and I'm just going to go yellow bird, update, yellow bird, update, and the query is now by yellow bird. Now maybe we only want this to show if we've entered a keyword. So to do that, I'm going to head back here to the desktop view, full screen, and I'm going to add a condition. And to do that, we're going to go to conditional settings, set condition, and we're going to say that if the advanced custom field has a value, then display it. So let's just see how we're going to get that right. So we need to look for the dynamic data, advanced custom field, the keyword, insert, and we're just going to say is not blank. So if it isn't blank, then display the post. So if I refresh, it's showing as normal. If I head over here and I remove that keyword and I refresh, then we don't have anything. If I go back and I enter a blue sky, update, give it a second and refresh, and it's back. So that's how you can quite easily then make it very simple to add products to the bottom of your post just by entering a keyword on the post page, and the advanced query will then pick up a product which has that term either in the body or in the title of the product. Well, I hope that helps, and I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for watching.